War is erupting everywhere. Now the man who used to head the CIA and the NSA appears to be musing over the assassination of a sitting Republican senator. In response to a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, that asked if Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville should be removed from his committee, retired Air Force General Michael Hayden said that Tuberville should be removed from the human race. And since the massive spy state agencies Hayden used to lead are known for disappearing people, assassinations, and for coups, it's easy to take that as a death threat. General Hayden attempted to clarify his remarks today by saying that he only meant to say that the senator shouldn't be considered a member of the human race, presumably because that same senator is single-handedly upsetting the power of the Pentagon to murder babies through abortion policy and to wokeify our military by mass promotions of left-wing candidates. All the lefties trying to act like Senator Tuberville is the one putting American national security at risk as war breaks out in Israel are lying to you. All the military branches that don't have a confirmed leader in charge have an acting one, so no problems there. But if you think about it, Tuberville's the one protecting us, because as evil takes advantage of the weak puppet we have in the Oval Office, we need a strong and decisive military, not an ideologically captured one that functions as a giant social experiment. Plus, if you look at General Hayden's supposed clarification, you'll notice that he nastily calls Tuberville Coach, his old title, instead of his new one of Senator. And he puts the word coach in scare quotes too, as if the senator is so far beneath him. And then to top it all off, Hayden calls us all MAGA nuts, which is dehumanizing language coming from such a powerful member of the security state. So to recap, the former CIA and NSA head says that senators who disagree with him should not even be considered human, and that those who follow him are MAGA nuts, which sounds like a lot like maggots, another term the left uses against the right, against Trump supporters. So on top of all this, Hayden is an advisor for NewsGuard, an organization which ranks the supposed reliability of other news outlets. But in actuality, it's one of those outlets which puts the pressure on Google, Bing, and other search engines to hide conservative links and content and to boost left-wing ones, destroying ad revenue and reach. So he's very hyper aware of words and the power of information control. Hence again why his language against the senator matters so much for all of us. Our first guest tonight responded to this whole debacle today by saying, quote, "What are we to make of what our ruling regime is capable of, given these are the people in control of the most powerful and sophisticated security apparatus in the history of mankind," end quote. Joining us now to discuss is Benjamin Weingarten, the editor-at-large of Real Clear Investigations and a senior contributor for The Federalist. Ben, thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Great. So how despicable is it to hear someone as powerful as General Hayden throwing such barbs out there against a sitting senator?
Well, this is of a piece of what we've seen from his rhetoric in the past. It's beyond disturbing that this is someone who was the director of the CIA and the director of the NSA. And you can draw a direct line from those like General Hayden sitting in those kinds of positions of power to the fact that now we have an FBI that classifies conservative Americans as domestic terrorists and pursues them accordingly, while at the same time, this ruling administration, this ruling regime, goes about aiding, abetting, and enabling the world's leading state sponsor of jihad and its proxies across the world.
And see, that's what I want to get to, because Hayden and the rest since January 6th, and I mean, obviously before that, but especially since January 6th, they said that a bunch of unarmed guys, one guy in horns who walked through doors opened for them by cops, they were the real terrorist threat, remember? And so they turned their whole national security state, their whole global war on terror, they turned it inward. But that really speaks to the lap of luxury a lot of these guys are sitting in D.C., that they could say that some random guy down the street who likes Trump, that is the biggest threat facing this nation, while like you said, at the exact same time, they're funding people around the world who want genocide, who want mass murder, who want mass rape, mass terrorism, destabilization. It's such a mind-boggling proposition we find ourselves in. Maybe that's why Jake Sullivan the other day was saying, oh, the Middle East has never been so peaceful as it is right now under Biden, and now we see all this blowing up. So, of course, there's a lot of news right now about Robert Malley, the former special envoy to Iran, someone who's a big Hamas sympathizer. He says, oh, well, it's not just terrorism. They have humanitarian work, and I don't know, maybe they sing poetry or something on the side. He has a very, very rose-tinted view of what Hamas is and how it functions in the Palestinian territories. But he was involved with Iran. He got yanked from his post, security clearance taken as well, for the allegation of mishandling classified information and some of his dealings with Iran.